A clean Baron in the collegiate scene. This is why we've seen them go so far. Sejuani is once again banned. Do we see another Rek'Sai first pick? Because it just has not worked for them.
I don't know.
They've got 56 seconds to find out.
Kalista ban coming out there, which leaves LeBlanc up.
Gnar this time. Okay. So this is a little bit different because, normally, you want the Gnar to maybe counteract a Hecarim, but that's not an option this time around. So it's just a general strong pick, but this leaves the counter possibility.
But this is really good. This will be the first time that we've seen Signature on a champion that he can win lane with and actually dominate the lane and be an aggressive force that causes split push pressure and team fight pressure. When you're Maokai, nobody's afraid of you split pushing.
Yeah, so mixing up a little bit this time. At the very least, they've got to do that. UBC, we're gonna have to choose some different champions, but once again, it won't have to be that different as the Gragas comes into play for Proof and another Scion for DJJ.
Another Scion. This will be his 4th game of the tournament with that Scion TP Smite. And it's been working out for him. It's difficult to pull off without the flash. And the Gragas once again going over.
Yep, and we've also got another Rek'Sai for Oberon. He's going to do or die by that Void Creature. And of course, this time Tails picks the Lucian away from Heat Waves. Let's see what the answer is from University of British Columbia.
When I look at the performance of Oberon's Rek'Sai over time, it is very good. He does have better stat lines than his Sejuani, but what it's bringing to the team fight is not very much. It's a knock-up very occasionally. It's a gap closer, not a lot of threat to the backline. And the fact that they're blue side banning the Sejuani means they're prioritizing that just Rek'Sai over Sejuani in general.
Yeah, and UBC, they're not really phased by the Lucian takeaway either. Heat Waves goes back to Graves. This is something he had great success on earlier on in the tournament against the likes of SFU. And, that's kind of what we talked about at the beginning. This is sort of one of his contested picks. Instead, he'd been going the Lucian route. This is not very different. Yeah,
Graves is actually his most played champion throughout the tournament. He has multiple games on it. If I'm counting correctly, it's five games on it throughout the tournament, throughout 8 games.
Oh, here's a different pickup here for RMU. They're going to send Leo in on Morgana, and that leaves LeBlanc for Bobchin. Okay. I feel like they've given a lot away to UBC here.
Yeah, so they leave the LeBlanc open. That's the ban that fell away to the side that I mentioned at the start. And so they pick up Wave Clear with the Morgana. Here's the problem, though, is UBC falls into the trap of, we don't have Wave Clear again. LeBlanc's Wave Clear is a little rough. They have some pick potential with it. Yeah. Graves is going to be their sole source of Wave Clear here with a little bit.
But he's shorter range,
Proof.
too.
Yes.
That's the thing. I mean, it's not going to be as effective as the Lucian is at it, but still, you don't want your AD carry on the front line most of the time. That is definitely difficult, and we've seen UBC have a struggle with that a little bit yesterday, but RMU are down 2 games right now. They have not been contesting objectives super effectively, and this is a scary team fight team, or at least a very scary pick potential team from UBC.
There's a lot of pick potential from RMU as well.
That's true.
They can get the pick in the mid lane with Leo. They can also pick off with Mini Bestia. So we'll see what happens in this game because UBC,
this is do or die.
They're on series point.
They've got 2 games up in the series to open it up. What does that do to the mindset of the opposing team? RMU, they've got all the backing. They've got the official structure. Can they pull out a win here and keep their hopes alive in this finals? Or will UBC be the ones to send them packing the 3-0 match? They want it. Some dead quiet here. The moment is tense as we load onto the Rift for what could be the final match. RMU versus UBC. And the crowd amps themselves up for this one as we see the gates are open. They're going out.
A lot of burden being taken off of Tails this game. He has a champion that he can win lane with. Mini Bestia, once again, on that pick champion. But then Leo can step up to the table. And now Signature gets to bear some of the burden in team fights. He's not just a peel machine. He gets to engage. He gets to split push. So this is what they're looking for, is if Signature can get an advantage over DJJ in lane, that's going to be really big.
There's your line of scrimmage to start things off. Just trying to feel out where everyone is, make sure that they know. Still curious to see how the Signature and DJJ lane does go. He's on this Gnar for the first time today. It's going to be still hard to take down a Scion. If they can stop him again like they did last time, Mini Bestia can go up and stop him on a roam, that'd be fantastic, but that's only if he goes for it.
Yeah.
And for right now, they have tabs on him.
Start Wolves.
They do have the ward in the Raptor Pit, but yeah, that would be a real mind game there, Zyrene.
Start Wolves. He can go start it. He'll see the ward as soon as he smites the Raptor camp. But if he starts Wolves, you smite it. When you start Wolves and you smite it, it has the Spirit come out, and it'll see anybody that comes in. So it's much safer as a TP smite top laner.
Exactly. So, Trinket Wards won't know where he's going. Zig's going to help Oberon a little bit out by the Grump. And the game will get underway. Very standard this time around. And that nice adaptation from DJJ means he will go undetected by Robert Morris University.
Yeah, and the route that he took as well, because he didn't go past the red buff's entrance. He went actually all the way around. So the wards didn't see him and didn't see his start either. But they know that he isn't at Raptors.
It's the one thing they know for sure. But that is all they know. So left relatively in the dark. You see the YSTL lane getting underway. Heat Waves and Remy, though, have not had too rough of a time in this bottom side. Oof. Even in a disadvantageous situation, they don't have to win lane to make an impact on the team. UBC this series have been playing so well together. Mini Best just got to watch out. He is taking a serious amount of poke to start this one off.
Man, Heat Waves, when I was watching their games, Remy seemed to be the only person applying pressure when they were playing Nami. They're close to level 2 here for RMU, but they've already taken half their HP bars on both the support and the AD carry.
Yeah, they're really laying it out on the line, but it's still so dangerous here. And the Janna lane, it makes it a little bit more difficult for you to catch Heat Waves, not to mention his dash, which he won't have yet, still level 1. They're trying to keep them away from that, but not for long. Heat Waves gets it. Remy's still sitting behind.
Ooh. Yeah, just the trading with the Janna shield. Remy being very flexible in his supports.
Leo's doing quite well in this mid lane, and it definitely has to be said. Very even on the farm, but LeBlanc doesn't get particularly scary just yet. You know, you wait for that level 6.
Morgana is actually a very good champion against LeBlanc. So the fact that you can just throw whatever line path she's taking towards you, you just throw the Dark Binding out at it, and you'll pretty much hit her. And then she has to stand in it, and she can't do anything after
and
that.
They have a pretty good mixed damage threat because of that too. I mean, yes, last game they had a lot of damage on the Cho'Gath, but it's a lot. I feel it's a lot harder to make the damage super effective. We'll have to talk about that one later. As Proof comes in, gets the body slam off. That's going to prompt Mini Bestia to flash away, but the exhaust is down on him. Tails is trying to push him back. Mini Bestia's not quite down yet in the hook. Catches Proof of payment. Can't quite make the flay combo,
Oberon,
and in comes Oberon.
He has his own flash. He's going over.
Oh, that's a knock up on the Howling Gale, but he flashes once again. Proof, they really want those buffs reset, but they won't get them.
Lots of trading back and forth.
But 2 flashes burned on RMU, and they only got the 1 out of Remy.
Yeah, they got the heal.
And the exhaust, too. Sure, they both got the heal out of Heat Wave, so they do trade net summoners, but 2 flashes down.
Yeah. Overall, RMU walk away with 1 more summoner.
We'll see if they make use of that advantage. Early Dragon plays haven't been their forte this series. Zig trading out once again with DJJ, a little battered and bruised. But now Heat Waves and Remy are the ones who are able to push the wave up. His Tails is -1 thresh right now. There's exactly why Morgana is good against LeBlanc.
Yep. Also the fact that she basically gives herself extra HP with the shield, effective HP, and you can't get rooted when you throw it on yourself.
So really trying to play out the lane dominance. I mean, they should have, in theory, advantages in just about every lane. Signature on this champion he can carry with in the Gnar, in theory, but we'll have to see if that works quite as well in practice. So waves have been expired for UBC over by the Dragon side, but RMU are not hasty to try and take this one. There's still 1 ward being pinged out in the brush.
Pretty sure RMU are going to be hounding this Dragon.
They have to.
All this game.
They absolutely have to. That has been the gateway to UBC victories.
They keep falling to UBC's hands. It's actually quite incredible to watch. The fact that they've only given up 1 Dragon the entire series so far.
Yeah, to the 10 that they've been able to secure. See if RMU is able to adapt this game. Their composition definitely says yes, but they have to make it count. They've built for lane dominance. Let's see them dominate lanes. Hasn't happened yet.
Tails, he's at that point where Heatwave's back and got the pickaxe, and Tails has to commit for the BF sword. So
I mean, he'll be able to trade more effectively once he does it, but, they can't afford to give a timing window.
There's a small window right here where he's weaker than Heatwaves, and he needs that little extra gold before he backs. It's a vulnerable position to be in, and sometimes you get punished for it, but they don't capitalize off of it.
No, not just yet. But Proof is on the bottom side. If he had chosen to move, they may have been able to try and secure a quick dragon, but UBC still would be pretty early, even though they've been able to do a couple. And there are wards around the area, so RMU would know this is happening. They have a teleport available. DJJ, speaking of teleports, taking some damage. Zig actually gets caught up, but Oberon is there. The tables have turned, and the Narbar is about to fill out. Smite's down on him. This is going to be first blood. Who's it going to? It looks like it's going to be Zig.
And he wants that top lane Gnar. He wants to get off the ground. Zig has been a carry for them all throughout the season.
But look at this reaction right now. UBC immediately saying, okay, there is a number advantage on the bottom side. We know Oberon has not got level 6 just yet. We know we can take this dragon. And they get a catch on Bobchin, but will they do anything else to follow up? The dragon going low. It's taken away, but they may pay for it with some deaths. Remy is stunned up. He's got the shield, but it won't be enough. Zig takes him down. Still, UBC continue their trend of dragon dominance.
Leo's flash ultimate there, beautiful. The binding beforehand, he got pretty much everybody's flash who had it up there because they had to flash out of necessity. Oberon, though.
Oh, he wanders in. Oh, can't stop the back. I don't think he expected Dragus to be in that brush.
Yeah. It's a thin brush, and then.
That's a big man. How does he hide there?
It's a clown car bush. It works out somehow. League physics.
League physics are pretty awesome. They're my favorite kind of physics, Irene.
I like how things just disappear in transit sometimes too. I canceled my arrow flying at your face.
Yeah, I wonder where all those arrows go.
All right, anyway.
Somewhere around. Back to this one. Tails trying to freeze this one out just a little bit, forcing Heatwaves to push forward.
And to touch back on the previous point, because he couldn't stay for the BF sword, because it's just too big of a window, he had too big of a gold gap between pickaxe and BF sword. He got pickaxe, some potions, swapped out his trinket, and got himself a dagger.
He's got a level advantage too over Heatwaves. Not quite hit the collateral damage spike yet. He's trying to extend that out as long as possible. Tails is rather. Who does have his calling available now. So 2 kills up to none is a scoreline. It's a decent little gold advantage, about 1,000 and some change for RMU. But once again, they've given up this dragon. UBC, this seems to be their path to victory, and so far they're still following it.
Signature gets to shove the top wave. Looks like he's going for, I would assume, a frozen mallet, first item on the Gnar, to continue to bully the flashless Scion. This is Signature's lane at this point, just due to the matchup, due to the pick, and the fact that he has 2 kills to his name already 9 minutes in the game. Signature is ready to put the game on his back and relieve some of the pressure that Tails has been feeling all series long. And they've needed this too, because Signature, he's a really good player. He was a sub for Dignitas for the longest time. He played on a lot of different challenger teams. And the fact that he's back, he's in RMU's program, scouted by them, picked up, means they see a lot in him. And when he's on a carry champion like this, he can deliver.
Yeah, you've seen them have to come to that decision after 2 games that I think pretty much everyone could say it was an underperforming moment for RMU. We'll see if that changes this time around. They still hold the lead, but they need to have the lane dominance to be effective with this composition. You can see Proof and Remy just kind of scaring Oberon and Mini Bestia for just a moment just by placing the ward over around the side. You can see how jumpy this squad is, even though they maintain a lead. Zig is going in on DJJ, but he cannot get the stomp down. Still trying to punish, best he can.
Early Avarice Blade for Tails, assuming that Heatwaves might go for one himself, because he's been doing that fairly often just to try to scale into the late game. I wouldn't be surprised if he picks one up, but he's just going to go for consumables, boots, and that looks like it.
Is it indeed for now? Mini Bestia throws out the line, but Proof had already taken care of the Gromp. Bobchin in this mid has definitely found himself in a little bit of trouble trying to deal with the lane disadvantage in the form of Leo. But he's still able to pick up some farm back while Leo was roaming away. Start this one off. Comes back into the lane. They really need to leverage this damage, this ability that they've got. And there's the black shield. Bobchin still staying safe. Mini Bestia coming up through the lane once again. Can't get in range to connect a death sentence.
the pings come out from Bobchin. Help me at this turret,
immediately. But there's still nothing for RMU to take here with the numbers they have around the map.
And you can see this turret takes a beating because LeBlanc's wave clear, and I touched on this earlier, it's a low wave clear composition from UBC. They'll have to use Scion, they'll have to use Gragas, little tiny bits of damage. Ooh. And the fact that Morgana just has so much wave clear innately in her kit.
Yeah, and even so, Bobchin was able to do a little bit of damage knowing there was no Dark Binding available.
Look at that.
But
Look at that
he's
trade.
still fine. He's still fine.
He wins that trade.
Just because he walked through the Tormented Soil.
Yeah, and he didn't even land a Dark Binding. He's maxing Tormented Soil first. It's maxed at this point, 5 points in it. Look at this Zig.
Oh, ultimate burn by DJJ.
And he's going to get his TP too, unless he doesn't, and he gets his turret instead. It's going to be the TP coming out from DJJ.
So here's the lane pushing the RMU's been able to do. Now they're clustering around on the bottom side too. They want to make sure they control the vision and not give up another dragon. But in comes Bobchin, moving out, and misdirects Mini Bestia, who has to throw down a Flay, keep himself from being pushed on too hard there. Leo, once again, keeping the wave shoved. This is what RMU is trying to keep going and keep UBC on the back foot.
This game has pretty big implications for the rest of the series. If RMU end up winning this, it means they're going to be able to be like, all right, let's take Gnar every time now because this is working out for us. We don't have to pick the Rek'Sai because it's not something that's going to get snatched up from us immediately. Take the Gnar, take the contested pick. They're able to shove this mid lane right now because of the back timers.
Yep. Once again, I mean, RMU, they don't stagger their backs really effectively this series, and this is the problem. Look at how low this tower is going. No, they're not going to be able to clear it away just yet, but that effectively neutralizes the mid lane advantage that RMU had built up.
Yep, that's true. Mini Bestia doing his best to roam around the map and try to get pressure down. His mini best. See if he can get his big best out there. Because right now, he's having a lot of effect on the map. But they backed, and here's the thing, they backed for the turret damage. Totally fine, because now Dragon is coming up. Tails hasn't backed though, and there's a BF sword on Heat Waves.
Yeah, if it turns into a fight, it's definitely going to be a little bit tough. Dragon spawning right about now. RMU still not going to commit to starting this one. They know that Proof is on the bottom side. Tails tries to trade out with Heat Waves, but there's the disadvantage. They need him to get there and be effective. Scuttle Crab is cleared away by RMU. Proof waiting in the wings. They will spot him with the blue trinket.
Look at all those wards, those pink wards, those green wards set around the
so much invested
side
there.
of the map.
Zig's moved. He doesn't even want to have to spend his teleport. Now DJJ is going to get some free push on this top side as a result.
Yeah, big wave. Zig has to go back up top to catch this wave under his turret.
They're not really getting anything for this now. Oh, here we go. Oberon is going to start the dragon by himself. There's not enough vision there for UBC to know this is happening, nor would they suspect it. Mini Bestia makes a feint of roaming around his tails, though, just trying to keep the wave push, never giving UBC an opening to do this. Oberon, it's going to be a slow march, but they should be able to secure it unless it's sniffed out by Proof.
And everybody just looks like things are completely okay. They have vision control with those pink wards.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Now
it's time to make the final shove. Proof's there. The jig is up, but he can't really do anything about this, so RMU will be able to secure Dragon for themselves. A sorely needed one, but can they make it out? Yep. Tails with the lantern.
All of these lane matchups, now that I think about it, are pretty good for RMU. Morgana's really good into LeBlanc. Gnar's really good into Scion, especially when he has Smite. Lucian Thresh against Graves Janna's the only one that's a little mismatched, but it's not even that severe. There's still outplay potential with the Thresh.
That's true. And you can see them really holding their own, but the issue is how long Tails really waited here. He's trying to back right now, but that wave push from Heat Waves is just so strong that Tails
Proof comes down too.
Can't leave.
Proof comes down to make sure that if Tails backs, they get this turret.
He doesn't have a coin to spend either. I mean, I think this turret's going down anyways. There's a teleport on it though, Zig. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, to push them back on it. The Meganar hops out
I'm surprised
of the teleport.
He took that.
Yep, well, I mean, there's nothing for them to really give up except for some damage on the top tower. But it's a Scion versus, you know, this three-man push wave. I feel like they're really valuing saving the turret on the bottom side, despite the fact that UBC are investing so heavily into doing this.
Yeah, DJJ will get this turret though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. That's the trade-off. First turret of the game is going to go to UBC.
DJJ, he's been doing something that is actually a little undervalued because he has the smite, right? So he goes to Krugs Krugs, when you smite them, they give you the heavy hands buff, which makes you stun minions, but also it expends the buff and does true damage to turrets, a big chunk of true damage. So every time he goes back and gets pushed out to farm, he then shoves the wave really hard, hits the turret, and expends the buff for that burst.
It's definitely been helping him stay on the up and up this game. Tails is still unable to back away. I mean, the tower is so low anyways. Anytime he backs while Heatwave stays in lane, they're going to give this one up. So it's just the timing has not really worked out for them. It's still going to be a while before the minion waves get to the bot and clash. So that's the window he's got. He picks up the BF sword. He picks up the crit cloak. Not quite enough for the Infinity Edge just yet, but he's getting there. See if he can save his tower. I don't think so.
Speaking of saving towers, though, Zig completed his frozen mallet, and he's really taking it to DJJ right now.
Yeah, he should be able to finish this one off. Well, maybe not.
Whoop, right. So he goes to Krugs.
Is going to fall. So just like that, UBC have locked up a gold lead with 2 towers to the none of RMU, but the rest of them are getting pretty low. Bobquin's getting a bit of wave clear there himself, but it was expensive to do.
Yeah, every time you have to wave clear as LeBlanc and you spend your ultimate, it's never a really fun situation to be in, because you know you just used your escape to just clear a minion wave, and you're very vulnerable.
Better make sure you're safe after that.
Yeah.
So Zig's going to finally cash in. Wait till the last moment, grabs that one. His Megan are pretty close to popping right now, and there it goes. See if he moves in on anything here. Bobchin is going to try to juke out Mini Bestia, and oh, he does. No hook use, though. Zig getting pretty low on the Meganar, so he'll transform back in just a moment. You see Heatwaves up at the top, too, now. Swapping back in, and there's the hook. Bobchin, though, has already dodged it away.
Pressure onto the mid lane here from RMU. They want to get this turret. They're going for a 1-3-1 split push by UBC, and Bobchin is pretty much their sole wave clear here. Proof will walk up to give them a little bit of assistance, but as Morgana just shreds these waves and applies pressure.
Mini Bestia going down to the bottom side. They're looking to try and finish this one up. It's DJJ versus Tails, though, for now. He might actually have to come around the other side as DJJ was just running at him. The rest of UBC now in force. Looking to clear out the Skull Crab. Still some time away before this next dragon is going to come up, though. So it won't be too much of a problem for RMU. Another Tormented Soil.
No real
Serious wave clear.
Huge advantages across lanes. It's pretty much Infinity Edge to Avarice Blade.
Infinity Edge.
Yeah.
I mean, Tails will get, just because of that, he'll get a bit more gold, I suppose. He's up in farm. The scores are very even. It's just, you know, an assist is separating them pretty much. It's definitely been a low action game from kill standpoint. And it's about to change, though. Mini Bestia. 1, 2, 3. But it's Remy that picks it up.
Yeah, didn't have the ward coverage on the side to know that UBC was all there, and they just blew him up. They got his flash, too. Lowers the playmaking potential of that shot caller for a bit. They're not going to get punished for it, though. When the support goes down, it's a little bit of pressure off the playmaking potential, like I said, but it's nothing like, oh, they lost their wave cleared, now we can siege, because Morgana's still there.
Yeah, that's the thing. However, there really isn't any pressure that UBC is under in any of the lanes, with the exception of Tails, who's moved up to the top, and DJJ's still there to meet him. I mean, the wave clear that Sion has is starting to get very effective as well. So RMU just really can't continue this push-up. They're going to need to play the Dragon game themselves. It's a little bit less than a minute until that next one is available. They need to get the vision in, but there's some deep vision that UBC's already established inside the jungle of RMU. See if they make effective use of that. I guess you could say the reverse as well for the Eagles.
Waiting on heat waves here.
Oberon in the brush.
He's seen, though.
Yeah, he is seen, but he doesn't know he's seen. Heatwaves is trying to play the game out there as Zig jumps over the teleport. Here's Mini Bestia. Oberon taking a whole chunk of damage. He dodges some damage, but he won't get out of that one. The collateral was not what they needed. The rest of it was, and Zig is left for dead. Before his Meganar goes off, he'll get popped by Proof. And so is Mini Bestia.
A huge bait by UBC. That's going to give them this next dragon, and also pressure across all the lanes that they want to shove out. That ward came up huge because they saw Oberon. They saw that he wanted to go in. He wanted to possibly kill Heatwaves under the turret and get that turret with Signature. Soon as they dove, Proof was there. Everybody collapsing to that position.
Oh yeah, they read that one just like a book, like RMU's playbook, it would appear. And now they grab themselves the spoils. Another dragon on top of it after getting as close to a wipe as you might. This side of the game, 2 Dragons and 1 is the score. We've hit the 20-minute mark just a minute ago. And UBC yet again in the lead here, looking to push on the mid-turret, and there is no response from RMU. Tower goes down. It's a 3-2-1 advantage in that category. Robert Morris University again on the back foot, Irene.
Yeah. Their objective control has not been that good. The fact that they aren't taking stock of where everybody is, or where everybody could be potentially, before they go for a fight. They will get this middle turret, though, as a consolation prize.
It's a long time in coming, though. They've been pecking away at that one for a while, and we consider they lost their mid before all of that. That's really troubling. So they get another turret for themselves. They've still got to knock the bottom outer one out, but look at all these wards that are spotting out Robert Morris in the bottom side jungle. UBC have tracks on a lot of their movements, and RMU just can't say the same. Yes, they've got a lot of wards in the UBC jungle, but that's not where everyone's moving.
It's true. They aren't moving around right there just yet. Signature, though.
Oh, Bob
They're
Chin.
looking for...
That's a quick pick off there. Let's see if RMU can answer back. A Gnar into the wall, but DJJ is still way too tanky.
Bob Chin.
He's burning away, but he'll make it back. And the juke. Can Leo pick him off? The culling doesn't connect. Neither does the binding. And Bob Chin, the master of escapes.
So close to finishing him off there with the ignite. But the fact is Morgana has pressure in this lane is still really big for RMU. Despite not getting the kill, they still force him back. Heat Waves is shoving top, but they get the wave clear, and they're able to apply pressure and allow them to get that bottom turret.
Yeah, so they've managed to knock out the last one of the outer ring as well, so they bring that score to even. The gold lead has been cut to just under 1,000. Still, UBC standing strong here, and they're roaming together. You see Remy and Proof roving through this jungle, just trying to make sure they keep the vision game up. I've been very impressed by the vision game that UBC has brought. It is, as we've been saying, a totally different team from yesterday.
Yeah, it's a very different team. Oberon going straight to...
Oh, there's a Void Rush.
Proof. Yep.
Proof will walk it out. Ward cleared away.
And there's so much vision from UBC at the moment through their sight stones. Lots of pink wards in the inventory for both teams. And a lot still on the map for RMU.
Not getting cleared away anytime soon. But it all comes down to it, too. I mean, this is match point for RMU. They have to pull out all the stops, or they're going to go home with second place and only 15,000 in scholarships. Now, that's a pretty awesome thing, but if you could double that...
Only $15,000
yeah.
in scholarships.
They want the big money, though, Irene. They want the big scholarships.
Their mothers are happy about this.
They definitely have to be, that's for sure. But RMU, they want to take home the big prize. It's what this squad was founded for, really. This is the tournament that they are here for. They want to take it all, and they are one game away from only taking the second place. See if they can really step it up here. I mean, their level of play has been impressive all through the tournament. I mean, they've really only dropped one game before today, but UBC have just been better.
Yeah. UBC prepped for this too. They put a lot of time. They were focusing on their own play style. They didn't put a whole lot of thought into their matchups against Texas A&M, and this is what they were looking forward to. They had that game that was possibly a trap game for them, but now they're coming out with their full strategies.
Well, they built for the lane dominance this time. They did okay in the lanes. It wasn't like an absolute beatdown by any means, and UBC again still holds this slim lead, but RMU have kept even keel despite some mistakes made. Bob Chin's 2-0 on this LeBlanc. That's always a scary thought, but we'll see how long the game does go. They have to respect that damage. And if they can get pressure on the side waves, they can force UBC to react to that one. Bob Chin prompting Tails to run away as fast as he can. Gotta be careful when there's a LeBlanc in your sights.
And if UBC go through this tournament completely undefeated and keep the West on top, it's a pretty big statement for Collegiate Law in the West, because UBC didn't even leave their regional group as #1. They were #2 behind Simon Fraser. And then UCI and SJSU also split a lot of games in that group, so the top 4 teams all seem like really big competitors. And if they're making the statement here that, hey, just because our region looked even, it just means it's a very strong region, is scary for Collegiate.
Very, very scary. And and again, there's so much investment that Robert Morris University has put into this program. And with UBC playing the way that they are right now, if they continue this one up, as Oberon has to take a lantern now, it doesn't take quite so much damage thanks to the Black Shield helping him out. You've got to wonder, like, what this disparity between the regions, it is very, very scary for the rest of them. And the West, so far, they're still the best, but we'll see if that stays.
The West has been historically very strong. Top 4 teams last year, University of Washington,
before we had
UCI,
the regional split,
SJSU, and UBC. All 4 teams were from the West.
And you can almost think of this home turf advantage right here. I mean, in Santa Monica and in the Barker Hangar, where these teams are playing out, you wonder what the psychological effect is.
They're Canadian.
It did have to go a bit of a distance. That's true. Got different definitions of hometown
They
heroes,
certainly brought enough of UBC with them.
Yeah, they did. We have been hearing them all day for sure.
But it's a dance around the dragon once more for both these teams. This has been the objective. It's all about these dragon fights. Nobody's fighting for nothing. They're all fighting for these objectives. Zig still only has the 2 kills on his team. And that's it. He's able to put a lot on his back this game, but we haven't seen the Split Pushnar get a large CS advantage. We haven't seen it devastate team fights just yet. Still waiting on those points. And Oberon, he
there's a
extends.
flash. Yeah, Bobchin. He's got 2 dashes, though, and he will spend them. And is going to force that one away, and that immediately prompts RMU to move in onto this dragon. They've got a serious amount of damage. Can they get it in time before UBC are there? The answer is yes. It's 2-2, but in comes the wrecking ball. DJJ onto Oberon. Tails moves forward. He waves the target. He's not down yet. Finally, Leo will pick him up, and UBC a big gnar into the wall, courtesy of Zig. Proof trying to dodge out, but Bobchin is going nuts on the back line. In comes Tails to push him back, and all said and done, it's a 2-for-1. Looking for more. Zig throws the rock as soon as he minis, and he should be able to secure up Proof, but Tails is caught. Oh my goodness, he picks up Bobchin.
That was a really big ultimate from Leo, and he got out alive, and then they just trailed the fight off. Amazing play there from RMU, and they picked up the dragon at the same time.
2-4-4 was the final score. That is exactly the fight that RMU needed. They forced the chaos. Now they have pressure in the mid. They've got a wave building in the top. They can try to shove this one in quickly, but still, DJJ is coming back to base. Remy is as well, and Heatwaves is back up. Let's see if they have enough damage to polish it off. Not quite yet. Maybe if they keep on it. This is dangerous, though.
They gotta be careful.
Don't give up the advantage. Don't get greedy. That punished them in the past. But still, 28 minutes into this game, they evened up the dragon score. They have even level of turrets, and they have a gold lead now. They can keep fighting like that. They can win this one, Zyrene. It's not over yet.
They don't even have to fight like that anymore, because now there's a Zhonya's onto Leo. He also got distortion boots very early on to make it so his flash cooldowns even lower, so he can continue to lock up the team. And if team fight's the name of the game, he's taking a team fight champion versus a pick skirmish champion in the LeBlanc.
Well, let's take a look at that fight and how it went for RMU.
Watch Leo. He doesn't even black shield at first to just stop the Scion ulti. He's like, no, I'm going to black shield so I can walk through everybody, get the ultimate off, kill heat waves, and flash over the wall and be 100% safe. Bobchin at this point, he's just trying to get spell rotations off. His ultimate was blown before the fight as an escape because of the flash from Oberon. It seemed like a really small window to try and abuse. Tails goes into a Fog of War bush and locked up, but the crit here, static Shiv crit.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a big oversight as we see another big Howling Gale come forward to stop RMU's push. But that crit really turned it around and made it a 1-for-1 at the end. And, you know, that was a pretty big amount of difference. But the rest of this team, I mean, Tails, again, the pressure's off him, as you said. They're not looking to the ADC to carry. They're letting Leo do a serious amount of damage. They're letting Zig utilize his Mega Gnar. It was a crucial part of that last fight. 3 members against the wall, and it changed just about everything. Bobchin has been going for, you know, just picking off people left and right, trying to do what he can. Yes, he's 4-1, but they've crucially identified that if they can push him out of the fight and force him off his spell rotations, in that brief window, they can pick off everyone else. And that's exactly what RMU did.
Yeah, it's such a small window, too. I was looking at it and thinking, why would you blow a flash for a LeBlanc ultimate? Because even if you watch that cooldown right now, it's just, you can see it ticking down so quickly. But they abused that window by starting the dragon immediately after they blew that ultimate.
Yes, indeed. And now, some extra gold in their pockets. They've leveled up their items a bit, too. You mentioned the Zhonya's Hourglass becoming a scary threat. Leo has really not been in any danger this game. They've been focusing a lot on Tails. They've been focusing on Mini Bestia. They've been able to pick him off quite a number of times. But still, they set up these plays very effectively, and UBC, you know, this is the biggest challenge game they've had 30 minutes in.
They didn't get a huge lead off the laning phase.
None at all.
To snowball slowly but surely, and their team comp is not as suited to team fighting. You take the Orianna out of the picture and replace it with the LeBlanc, this is what you'll get.
Well, for all we were saying about how UBC is playing completely different than what we're used to seeing, it is still been win lane, win game, because they draw out the laning phase continuously and then continue to win it. Now that RMU has taken that away, the game looks so far much more even. And a slight lead, of course, over to Robert Morris right now. We'll see how that keeps up. It has been kind of swinging just a little bit left and right, but it's been RMU making a couple mistakes that have cost them, and they haven't made those in the last few minutes.
And I do want to keep an eye on what Bobchin does this game, because when I talked to UBC, they were telling me sometimes their team comps are, we have 4 team fighters, and then Bobchin just plays whatever he wants. And he'll play the Zed in a composition that has Sejuani and
or
things.
the Katarina.
Yeah, where it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but he plays it in solo queue. He's a great mechanical player, and they put him on Assassin that he can perform on, but that's what his pool is primarily. When they ban the Orianna away and they take away his greatest team fighter, this is what it looks like. He's trying to look for skirmishes.
That's a lot of damage already. Now you see Bobchin diving in onto Tails, but he just can't get quite enough damage on him. DJJ pushing unopposed in the top side, but that really hasn't yielded any results since they were able to pick the first tower. It's less than a minute away on the Dragon. Again, RMU are trying their hardest to control the vision around the pit. They've missed 1 ward so far. They'll have enough time to clear out the waves in the side before coming back to this one, but they can't give up a kill to Bobchin here, who backs away as he realizes he's run straight into 3 members of RMU.
Just trying to wave clear a little bit. He has the blue buff, so the cooldowns aren't a big problem for him. Dragon in 30 seconds, though. That's the thing. That's the problem.
Oberon is backing. He's got Void Rush available if they really need to quickly do this one, but still, UBC have a couple of wards scattered about by that Dragon Pit. It's a very, very even amount of vision. Let's see if they can clear it out and establish that. RMU spotted, trying to go through. They're all sitting in this brush, and no sweepers away just yet.
Leo's positioning this fight.
Ooh, Zig. That was close, but Meganar close to it. UBC's got to back off. They need to not take the fight while the Meganar's on, and this is an opening for RMU to try and rush this one down. They have a serious amount of damage with Tails, but UBC knows this. There's still a few moments left on the Narbar. You have to go for the steal. They've got the double smite available. If they go in for it, this is close. It goes down. That's for Oberon. Let's see if they can take this one. Mini Bestia is the target. Proof, however, being chunked down. Oberon taking some serious damage as well. Proof caught in the line. Bobchin should be able to take down Mini Bestia. He does. And Zig, Oberon scattering to the winds. Tails trying to stay safe in this one. If they only lose 1, it's not too bad for them. But Heatwaves picks up Oberon. 2 for none so far. They've got no tower to back to as Tails, exhausted, tries to flash away, but Bobchin picks him up anyways. 3-4-0, and they'll take Leo as well. The shutdown and a double kill for Bobchin.
Very desperate play there from RMU. Starting the Dragon when you're going to have Mininar, there's not a lot of fight potential there, and Leo only got his ultimate on 1 person. Disengaged from Remy, and also proof of payment. Like, this is a team comp that can run you down, and they can't get through DJJ yet. Last Whisper wasn't completed. He's got armor, he's got Ninja Tabi, he's got Frozen Heart, and he's got Challenging Smite. Tails can not do anything to DJJ, and it takes forever for him to go down, even being the primary target in that. And you can see they're healthy enough after the fight to even do a Baron.
Yeah, all but Bobchin, but he moves around the side out of harm's way. The Baron goes down, so RMU may have secured Dragon 3, but they lost 4 members. They lost a Baron for that, and now some serious wave clear. It doesn't really matter if they don't have it built into their kits anymore, Zyrene. They've got empowered minions for the next 3.
And Thornmail for DJJ coming out. He's just trying to get to Tails, be a juggernaut in front of him, soak all of his damage, challenging smite him, and make sure that he is still alive. And Tails is practically killing himself at that point by damaging him.
Look at this amount of vision that UBC has scattered throughout the RMU jungle. They've still got teleport available. DJJ just used his ult to come in the last time. They can set up some wicked flanks if they want to.
With the Baron buff, though,
they may not need to.
They're going to look to try and push turrets down, take control of the jungle, take control of rotational positions, choke points, try to fight in them, or push down the wave, see and test the Morgana wave clear against the Baron buff. And if it holds up, then you go back to your old strategy.
Might as well. So the gold is swung this time in UBC's favor by quite a bit. To the tune of 3,000. Bobchin spotted out by the blue trinket. Might have saved a life right there. But he dashes in all the same, looking for Zig, who's only halfway in his Narbar. That's a lot of damage as Tails pops out his calling to try and push Bobchin back. It is successful, but he doesn't get that much damage out on him. Meanwhile, there's a split damage at 1-3-1.
Give yourself more
DJJ
options.
in the bottom, Proof in the top. Now they're sending a force up to the top. This is going to prompt a reaction from RMU, but can they push this back, Zyrene?
I don't know. It's a big wave.
And some power as well. Leo throws down the Tormented Soil, but that tower is just melting, and UBC are able to snag it. Meanwhile, Zig has to deal with DJJ on the bottom side. UBC, once again, they're starving out RMU, just clearing through the jungle and not giving them an inch.
And DJJ just letting this minion shoot the turret from out of range. It now has 2 cannon minions ready to go.
Oh, that was chasing the binding. Just out of range.
And now that the top turret's down, they take all their vision, they move their champions between mid and bottom and try to get some leverage there. Who shows first? Who shows first? No, you show first.
This is a game of chicken. I think Bob
So you show first.
Oh, second time. Jukes.
There's nobody in there, Leo. There's nobody in there.
His mind games are getting ridiculous. He's got Ober in there.
He's going to throw another, yeah.
Oh, and nobody. Okay. He's done. Meanwhile, back at the bottom, Zig trying to clear away the waves once again from DJJ. Tails forced to use his calling. Bobchin comes in. Doesn't connect the chains.
You got to be scared of the 7-1 and 2 LeBlanc. Bobchin has been putting this series on his back, whether it's Orianna, whether it's an assassin on LeBlanc. He really just cleans up these fights and has his tank wall take care of. That's the big thing that I've been noticing is UBC does a really good job of dividing their damage threats onto the mid tanks, like the jungler, taking out the jungler first, and then the primary tank, the really tanky top laner, being like, okay, we'll take Signature out afterwards. That's fine. Just get one person off the field and allocate our damage there. And then they have their tanks soak up as much damage as possible. DJJ walks into Tails and just zones him off, so he's not hitting Bobchin. He's not hitting heat waves.
And he's taking damage from the Thornmail.
Exactly.
Yeah, just let him soften up. I mean, that is a big brick wall that DJJ is piloting right about now. So it's going to be so difficult for RMU to push through. Heat waves been very safe this game. He's just pumping out consistent damage. That's all they need him to do. Bobchin has been able to get into the backline and pick people off. And once that happens, the fight is effectively over. 45 seconds on this next dragon. If UBC get another one, that's any risky advantage that RMU have been able to get is effectively neutralized. Bobchin's in that brush. There's the Prey Seeker. Siding him out, he looks for Oberon, backs away. They've got the Scuttle Crab control, Zig's around the side, but that won't be enough right now, and he's locked up on the Chains Ignite as he hops. It won't be enough to get away. Bobchin has some damage on him. The Narbar's coming up, but will it get in time? Yes, it is, but Oberon now is the target, and he's going down. That's Bobchin to pick him off. Meanwhile, in the Dragon Pit, Leo comes in, goes out, but they've lost a man already. Collateral damage, blowback. Leo very low. Proof is going to be picked off. It looks like not quite as Bobchin comes in and absolutely demolishes Tails. And Leo, they go through to get another. And it's Heatwaves picking up Mini Bestia. UBC roll through the jungle and roll through RMU.
They don't even care about Dragon right now. They're going to go after this turret. They're going to get an inhibitor turret, possibly an inhibitor with how quickly they might do this. But DJJ, he's going to be the one tanking this.
He's going to have to. Zig still alive, but not by much. As Bobchin punishes him there. Yes, they can tank this one. He moves over the side. They'll grab this inhibitor turret. Still some time on the death timers. Inhibitor's going to go down. It's 40 minutes into the game. This is the longest one we've had yet today. But UBC are looking to be so strong at this point the longer it goes on.
Bobchin is just running away with this game. 10-1 and 3. Zhonya's Hourglass completed, so he's even harder to kill. Didn't have to use it in this fight either. He is just skirting around the fight perfectly on this LeBlanc, playing it skirmish style. Previously, Leo had a few good ultimates in those first fights. Bobchin was getting hit by some bindings. He's got his LeBlanc fingers warmed up and he's ready to go. You can see how on top of things he is right now.
Absolutely, and even though there's a big wave up in the top, DJJ is able to shove it right on back. RMU just can't catch a break here. They've let the gold gap grow to about 7.5K. And RMU trying to push up in the middle. They've had a few pressure points, but they have just absolutely been pushed back. Let's see this last one again, though.
This is all Bobchin. The fact that he's doing this much damage at this point in the game to the main tank opens up so many options for the team. And Bobchin, this guy is the freshman of the squad. He's going to be at UBC for years to come, possibly still competing in collegiate law. If any of these guys graduate and move on, they're still going to be an extreme powerhouse with plays like these.
And look at that. He knew exactly where Leo was. That's the vision control that they've had. And then they can just turn it around just like that once again. 10-1 and 3 on this slip long. It's getting out of hand very quick unless they can answer back, but they've already lost Mini Bestia, the Monsoon, and the Zanyas to keep Bobchin alive. They're focusing tunnel vision on, but Heatwave is gonna still get the pick off. Finally, Bobchin goes down, but at what cost, Irene? They've lost 3 members. Is the Gnar enough to make the difference? I don't think so. Down goes Oberon. Zig is all by himself, and there is no inhibitor in the middle. That's the A's. 42 minutes in, the teleport comes in. They want to end this right now.
That's going to be game. UBC taking it 3-0 over the school that recruits talent from all over North America, South America. They bring
Everywhere.
in new talent, and they still get beaten by this squad of ragtag Canadian students.
Big, big win for the University of British Columbia here. The best in the West have proved that they are the best in North America.
Their manager, Carmen, jumping onto stage to help them. She graduated from UBC 2 years ago, and she still manages the team, cares about these players, wakes them up, calls them for scrims, and gets their butts out of bed to go
paid off, didn't
and it's all been worth it.
UBC proving they are the best team out of the pool of 1,600 schools as they walk over to shake hands, getting ready for that trophy. And what a victory it is.
And the West still on top.